From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast with Scott Sander.
Welcome to the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast. I'm Scott Sander. On this episode,
a new exhibit showcases the art of modern manufacturing. CPA Courtney Kincaid talks mergers and acquisitions. And our success story features a florist, bodybuilder, and cancer survivor, all in one.
Every business is unique and has a target audience. If you own or manage a business, Circulus Digital Media can help you connect and grow your customer base with turnkey digital solutions that are nimble, offering best-in-class results, service, and support to reach a bigger customer base, allowing you to pinpoint a specific audience down to the smallest details. Get outside the city, the state, span the globe. Put Circulus Digital Media to work for you. Get started now at circulusdigital.com. That's circulusdigital.com.
Time for accessing capital. October is National Manufacturing Month. Michael Durr is an Indianapolis-based photographer who traveled statewide to capture nearly 80,000 images documenting how manufacturers and workers are using smart manufacturing technologies like advanced robotics to increase productivity and competitiveness. The result is center stage in a new art exhibit, The Art of Modern Manufacturing, Views Through a Different Lens. Take a look.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Access to capital.
Nexus Indiana, we're a nonprofit organization, and our focus for the past 15 years has been to help strengthen Indiana's advanced manufacturing and logistics industries. And a big part of that is to educate the public about the importance of manufacturing to Indiana's economy, to Hoosier jobs. They're very good paying jobs, and we make products here in Indiana that touch people around the world. Manufacturing Day was on Friday, October 6th. It's all about trying to educate the public about the importance of manufacturing, especially here in Indiana. Manufacturing employs 530,000 Hoosiers. There's almost 10,000 manufacturers around the state. So we've been around the state taking photos of manufacturing facilities and decided that these photos tell wonderful stories about what's happening in Indiana manufacturing. So we started this exhibit. And is open to the public through October. The artist is a local photographer. His name is Michael Durr. He's worked with us for 3 years. He has taken 80,000 photos at manufacturers throughout the state of Indiana. And the goal was to showcase the technology that manufacturers are using in today's manufacturing processes. He kind of found art in the process. He found people working with machinery. He saw people working alongside cobots. He saw interesting materials being created that he had no idea Indiana was manufacturing. So for him, it really opened up a whole new view of manufacturing. We thought, let's bring his viewpoint to everyone else. And that's what the reason for the exhibit.
Each of these images are enabled by the Manufacturing Readiness Grants Program. So it's a program run by the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. And Indiana manufacturers can apply for up to $200,000 in grant funding to adopt new technologies in their production process. So each of these images are exactly showing that. You can see cobots, robotics, high-tech machines with software integration, 3D printing. The images are telling the stories of companies implementing those technologies. And a lot of it is often referred to as Industry 4.0, so the next revolution in manufacturing, sometimes also called smart manufacturing. When we think of Indiana, it's extremely diverse in the manufacturing industries that operate. So you can think of automotive, so we have major OEMs that operate here in Indiana, some aerospace and defense companies, a lot of food and beverage, a lot of industrial machinery and industrial equipment manufacturers, all the way down to furniture and textile products. As I mentioned, the types of technologies that companies are investing in, they do require significant investment in time and expertise and workforce training. So the funding is there to support companies on that digital journey. And what we've seen with the funding being available to companies is they're able to do something really innovative, perhaps more than they otherwise would have done without that support, perhaps expand the scope of the project or accelerate the timeline of the project. What we talk about a lot at Connexus is keeping workforce development in lockstep with technology adoption. So you think of all the technologies in these images, robotics, cobots, 3D printing, certainly some artificial intelligence and machine learning. Companies are invested in that. They want to be doing it. So of course we need to develop and build those skills in Indiana's workforce as well. And there are major players, of course, announcing new degree programs. Ones that come to mind, Ivy Tech has just recently launched a smart manufacturing and integration degree program. Purdue University announced the first ever semiconductor degree program. So folks are getting on board to support technology adoption in the industries. In general, the United States is invested in bringing back a lot of the manufacturing. Onshoring is a term that you hear. There's a lot of money going around, certainly in semiconductors and pharmaceutical manufacturing. Electric vehicles and batteries are all hot topics with a lot of money to support growth. And the manufacturing readiness grants is just another example of how manufacturers can get access to capital to invest in these types of new technologies.
Of the almost 500 companies that have received manufacturing readiness grants, we have done case studies with 50 of them. And in each case, we have heard that they are either hiring more employees to work with the technology or upskilling employees to work with the technology. So it really is changing the types of jobs that are available in manufacturing, which is very good for especially the newer generation, Gen Z. They like technology, and there's a lot of opportunity to excel in that area.
Time to talk dollars and cents and how to track all of it. Welcome back to Business Equity and Opportunities. I'm Scott Sanders. On this show, we talk a lot about growing your business. One way to do that is to merge with somebody else's business and mind your accounting and bookkeeping at the time. Local example, remember Burger Chef? Hardee's merged with it to enter the Midwest, then Carl's Jr. bought Hardee's to buy a national presence. Navigating the murky waters of such mergers and acquisitions can be challenging. Fortunately, we have the president and CEO of the Indiana CPA Society at the helm. Here's Courtney Kincaid.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities, Accounting and Bookkeeping.
I'm here today to talk to you about mergers and acquisitions. And when we talk about mergers and acquisitions, it's often not a topic that small business owners or entrepreneurs are necessarily thinking of. When we talk about that topic, people tend to think of these big business transactions. But sometimes it's actually a really great opportunity for small businesses. When you think about mergers and acquisitions, they're really great ways to kind of diversify what you're doing, to expand your reach, and to help lower some costs. It's also a good way in this economy where we're having difficulty finding staff that maybe sometimes you're looking for some staff and bringing on some new competencies. There are some risks and considerations that you really need to take into mind and factor into your decision of this would be a good fit. And some of those are, intangibles like culture. Does your culture fit with the other organization? Is it a good combination? There are also other factors such as how are you going to change your processes? But there's regulatory considerations as well. And as you navigate these risks, you're also going to be thinking, obviously, if you're the one acquiring the other company, is this company's valuation correct? One of the worst things you would want to do is to acquire something and pay too much money for it. When you think about all of those considerations, you really start to see why a CPA would be a really, really great resource as you navigate this process. Obviously, CPAs are known for regulatory understanding, from tax implications to other considerations as well. But also, sometimes people don't realize that CPAs are really in tune to technology and helping to integrate two different systems into one. So they really are a full package when it comes to helping two organizations merge together. As you think about valuation, which we said is a possible pitfall, obviously this is an area of expertise for the profession. There are a lot of factors that go into business valuation. It's not the same as, selling your house. You have really different assets, and so understanding what those assets are and what the market value is for those is really crucial, and a CPA is really helpful in navigating that process.
Time to wrap things up with our success story. Paula Davis is truly multifaceted. She's a bodybuilding, cancer-surviving florist who owns Blooms and Petals in Lafayette, Indiana. She's been through a lot. She knows other women are going through it too. She is, though, clearly tough, and she knows there's strength in numbers.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Success Story.
My hand was kind of forced on becoming an actual florist, a retail florist. See, flowers were a passion. They were something that I had grew up around. My great aunt was a homemaker, and so she would grow the flowers and vegetables and things and then preserve them, sell them, make arrangements. And I was curious about that, and she showed me how to do that. So I always used flowers through high school. Even in college, I would make a little side business doing flowers. So when I graduated from Purdue and before I went to law school, I started doing like farmers market with flowers on the weekend. And I would set up at craft shows and trade shows. And as my corporate career took off, it was great. I would use it as a way to do gifts, right? So I would make gift baskets for my clients. I would make floral arrangements for my clients. I would sometimes host events, business events, and make the floral arrangements for that, which eventually became other jobs and other opportunities. And my travel was really interfering with my family life as well because I was traveling a lot. So I came home one weekend, and my husband said, I have a surprise for you. Well, we were trying to get a new house, and we were debating about whether we could afford it. And he was like, no, we can't afford it. So I figured the surprise is the new house, so he went on and did it. So, but he didn't say for sure. So he puts the blindfold around my eyes, and he's driving around, and I'm thinking, yeah, we're going to the new house. Got me a new house, right? And he gets me, and I still got the blindfold on. He gives me the key, turn the lock, walk in, takes off the blindfold. It's like, this isn't a house. This is a retail storefront. He's like, yes, I went and rented you a space to start your floral business in. So that is literally that away we went. It was within a year of that I resigned my position. I had enough items between my house, my garage, my storage units that I had to put some investment into it. But it was a turnkey operation because my customers followed me from my home-based business. So initially, I did not have any ideas of being an entrepreneur, but it began to manifest itself. That's what I truly am at heart, an entrepreneur. Yes, well, definitely. It definitely had some professional challenges. When I started in this business, circa 1999, there were not a lot of black people in the business. And so that was something that I had to navigate and navigate my way through in the industry. And at times that provided challenges. Also, certain historical events like 9/11 affected my business. All businesses were closed, mandatory closed during that time. So that had an impact. The real estate crash. That because all of a sudden all of my big real estate customers and the banks and all that, they kind of went away for a while, and it was 2 or 3 years before we really saw corporate spending start to come back on the rise. And then of course we had COVID. I mean, so I've always had those kind of challenges, but what I remember is like Dory, keep swimming. I don't know if you ever saw the movie Finding Nemo, but you have to keep moving. You have to find new ways to do business. You have to find new ways to connect with your customers. You have to find new ways to be relevant to customers that aren't doing business with you. And that's something that I've always done, and I think that helped me. And always realizing that the glass is half full. No matter what it looks like, there's always tomorrow, and you can do it. You just have to stay consistent and stay on the path. Around 2001, I became interested in becoming more healthy, more fit, And so I started taking classes and watching what I was eating and doing all that. And eventually one of the other instructors said, hey, you'd be a good instructor. And I thought, okay. So I went and got certified as a fitness instructor. And then, hey, you'd be a great personal trainer. Went and got certified as a personal trainer. So I decided that I wanted to get an advanced degree in personal training. And I went to a conference that hosted not only the theory and the personal trainers and the coaches, but also the men and women that they train. So we could see in real 3D how the theory and the practice resulted in the excellence. And I mean, this was at the Arnold Classic, which is definitely the epitome of the fitness world. So at that point, I decided I wanted to be a bodybuilder because somebody said, I think you could do this. But the breast cancer interrupted that process. I discovered that, I had a lump in my breast through self-examination. And later on, after having a biopsy, found out that it was breast cancer and that it had spread into my lymph nodes, which resulted in me having to have a mastectomy and removal of 18 lymph nodes in the process. So it was a difficult time. I had multiple surgeries. My chemotherapy was very, very strong because at that time I was under the age of 40 and to my knowledge did not have a family history. It wasn't until I revealed to my extended family that I was diagnosed with breast cancer that I found out that indeed there was a family history. And so that changed everything. Where they were already aggressive, it just took it to a whole nother level. So it wasn't until 2015 that I was released from oncology care. They felt that they had done everything they could do and basically wished me well, gave me my first sponsorship towards my bodybuilding career, and away I went. And so I've been doing it ever since. Yes, recently, and I'm very excited about it, I won the title of Miss Indiana Bodybuilding for 2023-2024. That was always something I aspired to do because that's the highest level in the state of Indiana, and I get to represent my state in other parts of the world and other parts of the country, and I'm so excited and so proud to do that. A lot of times when I announce where I'm from, they go, Indiana, where's that? I said, honey, there's more than corn from Indiana. So let me tell you. So I have fun with it and I enjoy it, but I enjoy encouraging people. That's the most part, meeting new folks and encouraging people. There are some things that I can't plan for. I couldn't plan for COVID, couldn't plan for 9/11, couldn't plan for anything. So it's kind of like you take what's presented before you, and then you figure out what the best way is to navigate that. But then I also have goal setting as well, where regardless as to what intervening incidents may happen, these are goals that I want to accomplish, and so I'm always moving towards those goals, whether it's becoming Miss Indiana or perhaps Miss Olympia one day. All of those are goals that I am aspiring to. Well, my next big thing after the Plant Matters Conference will be the Women's Cancer Survivor Brunch and Resource Fair that is held Saturday, October 21st here at Matchbox. And I'm excited about that because one of the things I realized when I was diagnosed with my cancer and had to navigate all of these things, the resources weren't all readily there or readily apparent. And one of the other things that I experienced a lot with was depression. I struggled with that because my self-image had changed. I had a mastectomy. I had chemo. I had hair loss. I had all of these things. So it wasn't until I went to an American Cancer Society's program called Look Good, Feel Better that really tackled that we as women internalize and react to our cancers different than men who are going through a cancer. And that, we need some help to understand how to navigate our new normal, and that we are still beautiful whether we have hair, whether we have breasts, or any of that other stuff. And that's what it inspired me to become a certified counselor for ACS. And now we're having an event here in Lafayette. So it is free to women. Cancer survivor. It has nothing to do with whether you have breast cancer or ovarian cancer. If you are a woman cancer survivor, your ticket is sponsored. And we're looking for people to sponsor the tickets for the women cancer survivors so they can take advantage of it. But we were going to have cosmetologists there that talk about the hair loss, but more importantly, what do you do about it? Are there treatments that you can do, or what are your options? We're going to have skincare people, estheticians. I know I had terrible breakouts constantly. You know, how do you calm down the skin? How do you wear makeup if you're having these kind of issues? So they're going to get some real knowledge. There's also going to be some entertainment there as well. But at the end of the day, it's about empowerment and education, and that's what we want to bring to the area. So if you are a woman cancer survivor, regardless of the cancer, you are welcome to come to the brunch.
The Women's Cancer Survivor Brunch and Resource Fair is set for Saturday, October 21st from 11 to 2 at the Matchbox Co-working Center in Lafayette.
Our thanks again to all the contributors who joined us for this episode of the Business Equity and Opportunities podcast. We hope you found it enlightening, useful, and inspiring. You'll find more information about the show on our website, BEOshow.com. You can watch Business Equity and Opportunities Sunday mornings at 10 on Wish TV or live stream it through wishtv.com. Each week we provide 7 full segments with topics ranging from how to get started and how to access capital to the day-to-day running of your business and questions about accounting and bookkeeping. We feature business news and trends and always share a success story from one of our contributors. Join us next time for more insights into the world of small business. Be sure to sign up for our Business Equity and Opportunities newsletter to get even more valuable, up-to-date information. And if you have any questions or you'd like to be part of our show, please email us. The address is beo@wishtv.com. We'd love to hear from you. I'm Scott Sander. Thanks for listening.
Watch the Business Equity and Opportunities show on Wish TV and access all of our content and share it on demand anytime at BEOshow.com. You can find more podcasts from Wish TV on the All Indiana Podcast Network at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.